Hey guys, back with practice today, and the motto or the mantra for the day is, I got this. So it's gonna be a brisk practice, and hopefully it'll get your blood pumping, and you'll burn a few calories. Just remember, if you have any issues or need to modify, or if you need to come to child's pose at any time to take a break, that is perfectly fine. But if not, just remember, you got this. We got this. It's gonna be fine. So you can come to the top of your mat. I'm gonna stay in the center just to show you what I'm doing here. We're gonna come to a mountain pose to begin here. Shining our palms forward, pressing into all four corners of the feet. Breathing in here. Settling on the mat, letting go of everything else that you brought to the mat, letting go of the day thus far. On your next inhale, begin to bring your arms up overhead, and then exhale, drop the arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. Maybe incorporate your neck as you come up. And exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, arms up and through. Exhale, chin to chest. Let's take it to the other side. Arms up and down. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, lower. Great job. Now we're going to inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, grab onto your left wrist and take a side bend to the right. Stretching through the right or the left side body. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Your next inhale, rise up and take it to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, open twist to the right. Your gaze can be toward the right, or you can be looking over your right fingertips to the back, if that's okay with your neck. Getting a nice stretch through our neck here. On your next inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, take it to the left. With each inhale, try to find extension. And exhale, try to twist a little bit more. Keeping our hip bones radiating forward. Twisting at your center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands at mountain pose. I'm going to step to the top of the mat. You can go there if you are not already there. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sit low for chair pose. Sinking our weight into our heels, arms up overhead. If that doesn't feel good, you can have your arms at heart center or airplane arms here. Inhale in one more time. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to plant our left palm on the ground. Inhale, open up. Open twist to the right. Gaze is up toward our right fingertips if that feels okay. Straightening through the right leg, bending through the left. Inhale in, exhale, switch sides. Opening up through the left. Bending through the right leg. Straightening through the left. Bend the knees generously. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms. Step back for plank or half plank. And find your vinyasa, chaturanga or belly to cobra. And we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, right leg raises. Exhale, step through. Pivot on the back foot and rise up for warrior one. Finding your footing here. If you need to open up for a wider stance, go ahead and do that now. Front knee is over front ankle. Knitting those ribs down, engaging the core. On your next inhale, begin to straighten through the front leg, hinging at the hips to come forward through for pyramid pose. You can bring a block or two here, or you can bring your hands to the mat. With each inhale, find extension. Exhale, maybe fold a little bit further. Careful not to crunch too much, but keeping that back long. And your next inhale, begin to rise back up for warrior one. Front knee over front ankle. Pelvis is toward the front of the mat. Your next inhale, maybe come up to the tiptoes of your back foot. Maybe come up for warrior three, if that's okay with your body today. Spiraling those left toes toward the ground. Pressing into all four corners of your right foot, not feet. On your next inhale, drop the back foot, come back up for warrior one. Inhale in here. Exhale, plant the palms and step back for plank or half plank and find your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, step it on through, pivot on the back foot, and rise up for warrior one on the left. Find your footing here. Making sure you're not on a tightrope, maybe opening up your stance if you need the extra balance. Pulling those shoulders away from your ears. Careful not to crunch up here. Knitting those ribs down and engaging that core. Your next inhale, begin to hinge at the hips and fold forward for pyramid pose, stretching through the left leg. Pressing into the knife edge of the right foot for stability. Inhale back up to warrior one. On your next inhale, maybe come up, stepping up for warrior three. Making sure it's a neutral pelvis here. Your right toes are spiraled down toward the floor. Pressing into imaginary wall behind you for balance. On your next inhale, drop the back foot and come back up for warrior one. Inhale in, exhale, plant the palms and find your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Finding our breath here. Inhale, right leg raises. Exhale, knee to nose. Shifting forward to a plank position. Knees scrunched up to your nose. Exhale. Three-legged dog. Actually, it's an inhale. Three-legged dog. I got stuck there for a second. Exhale. On your next exhale, open up for wild thing. Gaze is up toward the ceiling. Right arms over your head. Inhale in, come back to three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward. Pivot on the back foot. And rise up for warrior two. Adjust your stance here. Front knee is over front ankle. Back toes are turned 45 degrees in. Knitting those upper ribs down, engaging the core. Gaze is over the front fingertips. Inhale, flip the palm and reverse your warrior. Gaze is up toward the ceiling or your right fingertips if that feels okay. Inhale back to warrior two. Your next inhale, begin to straighten through the front leg, bump your hips to the left, and find a triangle pose to the left of the mat. If you need to, you can always bring a block here to bring the mat to you. Gaze is up towards your left fingertips if that feels okay. Engage through that core. Careful not to dump all your weight into your right hand. Then we'll drop the left fingertips and walk our way to a wide-legged forward fold toward the left side of the mat. Hands can be at your ankles. They can be on the backs of your calves. They can be on the ground. Bringing the crown of the head toward the mat. It does not have to touch or to come anywhere close. And if that doesn't feel good, you can always just put your hands on the mat to hold yourself up. On your next inhale, we'll halfway lift. Exhale, fold maybe a little bit deeper. Inhale, we'll rise up, pivot on the front foot and the back, coming back to a low lunge, staying for a breath, plant the palms, step back to plank or half plank, and find your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, knee to nose. Squeeze through the core. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, open up for a wild thing. On your next inhale, begin to come back to three-legged dog. And exhale, step through. Pivot on the back foot and find warrior two to the right of the mat. Finding your footing here. Front knee is over front ankle. Knitting those ribs down. Making sure you're engaging that core. Gaze is over your front fingertips. Inhale, we'll flip the palm and reverse our warrior. Exhale, open back up to warrior two. Inhale, begin to straighten through the front leg, bumping our hips to the right, dropping the left hand and opening up for triangle trikonasana to the right side of the mat. Gaze is up towards your right fingertips if that's okay with your neck. Engaging that core, pressing into the back edge of your right foot. Dropping that right palm, slowly walking to the right edge of the mat. And coming in for a wide-legged forward fold, turning your toes slightly in here, maybe reaching back behind the mat. On your next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Maybe come a little bit deeper. Your next inhale, we'll begin to pivot on both feet. Come back for our low lunge. Looking up. Inhale in here. Exhale, plant the palms, step back and find your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, hop or step to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise up for chair pose. Sinking low. On your next exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll begin to twist to the right, hooking our left elbow onto our right hip and twisting into our chair pose here. You can always open your arms if that feels good. If not, pressing in, keeping active arms. Trying to keep those knees together. Inhale back to center. Exhale, we'll twist open to the left. Breathing deep. You got this, we got this. Inhale in, exhale, let it all go. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now we're going to come into some balancing poses here. Just one, I think. We're going to do a tree pose. I'm going to come to the middle of the mat, but you can stay on the front. That is perfectly fine. Just want to show you what I'm doing here. So there's many different options for a tree. You can have your hands at your hips, and you can have your toe on the ground. That's fine, that's a tree. You can have your hands at hips, you can have your foot on your shin. That's tree. You can bring your right foot into your left thigh. Hands can be at heart center. Hands can be up overhead. That's also tree. Embrace where you are today. Breathing deep. If this is easy for you, maybe try to bring your gaze upward. Inhale in and exhale. Let it all go. Bringing our weight into our right foot. Coming up onto our toe of our left. Fuzzies on me. And finding our tree on this side. Just making sure not to press your weight or your left foot into your knee, because that will hurt your knee. So make sure it's either on your shin or your calf or on your thigh. Maybe you're swaying in the breeze. Maybe not. Maybe there's no breeze. Whatever. That's fine. Making sure you're not crunched here, but finding nice open arms. relaxing the tension in those shoulders. And if you fall out of the pose, don't worry, just get right back in it. I think if I say the word fall, I can get a little wobbly there. Inhale in, exhale, let it all go. I think I have some flour on my shirt today. I was baking before this, so lucky you. Oh, okay, if you're not at the top of the mat, go to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms and step back to plank. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Engage through the core. Really gripping with those fingertips to take some tension off your wrists. One more breath. And press back to down dog. We're going to come up for pigeon pose here. So if this is not accessible to you, you can always do pigeon pose on your back, which means it's like a figure 4 stretch. You'll be on your back here with one leg, with one ankle over top of the other knee, pulling in here. That's an option for you if pigeon pose is not in your practice. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step through. Bring your right knee to your right wrist. Try to make your right shin as parallel to the top of the mat as possible, while taking your left leg and straightening through the back. Bringing your hands in front of you, shining your heart space open here for king pigeon. And then beginning to fold forward. If that's in your practice, maybe bringing a block to your forehead. You can also have a block under your hip here if you can't come down into pigeon. Maybe you're bringing your forearms to the mat. Maybe your forehead comes to the mat. We'll be here for a few minutes, opening up through that right hip. You should feel sensation, but never pain. If you feel tension, send your breath there. Inhale in, and exhale, send your breath to wherever you feel tension, and try to relax through where you feel that sensation. Any tension, just try to let it go. Deep, full breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Your next inhale, begin to come up, planting your palms, maybe inching forward with your left toes, bringing your right leg back to a down dog. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, step through. Bringing your left knee to your left wrist. Inching that foot up so your shin is parallel with the mat. Top. Inhaling in, shining that heart forward. Exhale, begin to fold forward. If you were in pigeon on your back, you would just have to switch your legs here. Sorry about that. Opening up through that left hip, sending the breath to wherever you feel tension. when I say send the breath, whenever you exhale, just imagine your breath is going directly to that source or that spot of tension. Inhale, begin to press up, tuck the right toes, maybe inch forward a bit, and come back to a down dog. Rolling forward to plank pose. We'll drop our elbows where our hands were and come down, untuck our toes for a Sphinx pose. Press the tops of your feet into the mat so much that your kneecaps raise. It's a nice stretch through the back here. Radiating that heart forward. And if it's in your practice, you can come to locust pose. You can bring your hands behind your back, interlace the fingertips, and rise up. Maybe bringing your feet off the ground. Stretching through those shoulders. And if possible, we could come to bow pose, grabbing on to your ankles behind you, keeping your legs squeezing in, not out like this. Squeeze your legs together and take your legs and try to pull yourself up, pushing through your hands with your ankles, keeping your feet active. Lifting that chest off the ground. Inhale in, exhale, begin to come down. Don't let your feet just shoot back. Bringing your hands underneath your forehead, resting in crocodile pose. Bringing your hands underneath our shoulders here, pressing up for plank pose. Your next exhale, bring your knees to the mat. Come on through and sit on your bum. We're going to set up for a boat pose here. So your feet can be on the ground if you are still working on your core here. Your toes can be on the ground. Just sitting here, making sure your back is nice and straight, engaging through the core. Maybe you lift your shins parallel to the ceiling. Maybe you grab behind your thighs, just holding yourself up. Maybe you bring your arms long, trying to make your upper and lower abs engage together, holding you up. Maybe you join me for some boat bicycles. Bringing hands to heart, straightening through one leg, and then the other. You got this. Just two more. 1 and 2. And maybe you open all the way up. And then come down and hug those legs. Take a little break. You're doing great, guys. Not much more here. I'm to start to cool down. So I'm going to lay back down here. I'm going to bring my feet up parallel with the ceiling. If this isn't possible for you, that is fine. You can keep your legs on the ground here. I think you'll still be able to get a nice core workout here. Just doing, just having your feet on the ground. If you can, bring your feet up parallel to the ceiling, lifting your hands, and we'll do baby pulses for 20 pulses. And just engage your core, and it doesn't have to be a big movement here. You'll see it's going to be small movements, but it's going to work your lower and your upper core at the same time. So ready? Making sure you're not crunching in your neck, but keeping it elongated. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Reach, 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 reach. And then let it all go. Maybe you hug your legs in here. You did a great job, guys. Elongating through the left leg. Letting it hover. Pulling our right knee into our right armpit. Stretching open through that right hip. And then switching sides, bring our left leg in, letting our right leg hover. Maybe you even crunch up a little bit, making sure not to crunch in your neck, but gaze is up toward the ceiling still. Maybe with your breath you switch. Inhale, bring your leg in. Exhale, switch. You got this, only a few more. Engage through that core. You've got this, you've got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And drop everything to the ground. Hands on your stomach, maybe giving yourself a gentle massage, massaging out all that core work we just did. Rubbing your belly clockwise. Bring your feet up, snuggling your shoulder blades under your heart space, bringing your shins parallel to the ceiling. We're going to take our arms wide here, and we're going to gently fall gently and slowly, engaging your core to the right. That's some nice cracks there. Finding a supine twist. Gaze is over your left fingertips. Your next inhale, begin to bring your legs back up, engaging through your core. You got this. Exhale, drop slowly and gently to the left. Gaze is over your right fingertips. crunch into a little ball. Then open back up, finding our final posture of Shavasana. Snuggling those shoulder blades under your heart space, letting your toes splay open, palms up toward the ceiling. Closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Take a big inhale and empty all the way out. And as you empty, sink, sink, sink heavily into the mat. Relaxing through your whole body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And deepen your breath. Rolling on to one side. Begin to press up to a seat. Hands at heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. And just remember, even if it feels hard, eventually you will be able to do it. Just keep with it. You've got this. We've all got this. Not just in yoga, but with everything. It might seem hard to you, but eventually, if you keep doing it enough, we will get this. I promise. Inhale in, exhale, bow. Namaste.